What would you give up in exchange for a single wish? Sounds simple, right? It's a question many characters have faced in fiction. However, there's one take on the concept that, in my opinion, paves the way for one of the most gruesome, horrific shows out there. That show is... Wait, what? Yeah, this seemingly innocuous and wonderful anime is, in reality, a dark look into human emotion and the concept of sacrifice. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend watching it before this video. It's just such an amazing experience. From gut-wrenching visuals to soul-crushing plot twists, I'll cover what makes Puella Madoka Magica the darkest show I've ever watched. Madoka's mentor for her journey is none other than Mami Tomo, a Puella Magi with the ability to summon a fuckton of guns. Mami teaches Madoka and her friend Sayaka the basics of witch hunting and how grief seeds can purify your soul. While heading off to defeat another witch, Madoka finally breaks, confessing to Mami that she, too, wants to become a magical girl. They hug and laugh, Mami trounces the witch, and they all live happily ever after. That's how I thought this show would go. We could have all lived in the calming thought that everything went well. Instead, Mami shoots the witch, and then... Mami, the mentor, the one guiding Madoka through the different parts of being a magical girl, is brutally killed. Mami's death is important, both in the show and in real life, for many reasons. Watching Mami get decapitated completely changes Madoka's outlook on being a Puella Magi. It reveals the true danger and horror of working with Kyubey. It's also what catches the viewer off guard, and I can not get over this. Why did they kill Mami off so early? She was the best character. Up until this point, the show seems innocent, if a little strange. It gives you all this wonderful, cheery eye candy, lulling you into a false sense of security. Then, in a flash, it's ripped out from under you. I love the imagery of her magic form shattering away because, as a viewer, I felt the same way. The colorful veneer disappears in an instant, and her lifeless body drops to the ground.
Even someone like me can do something to help? Can I really change how this ends?
Of course you can. Just make a contract with me and become a magical girl.
One of the first magical characters Madoka meets is this thing. A cute little creature whose only goal is to spread magic to all the teenage girls in the world. Yeah, no. Kyubey, otherwise known as Incubator, reveals that his goal is to harvest emotional energy, whatever the fuck that is, from humans to prevent the heat death of the universe. Anyway, when Madoka responds with obvious shock and horror, Kyubey makes the excuse that it's their choice to become a magical girl.
Have you ever thought about how those animals become the food you eat?
No, stop it!
Your reaction isn't very rational. Humans chose livestock to be food. In exchange, they are fed, allowed to reproduce, and protected from predators all their lives. Cows, pigs, and chickens have a much higher rate of survival in captivity, more than they would in the wild. So you see, the relationship is mutually beneficial for both parties.
Is that how you see us?
On the contrary, we treat humans with much more respect than humans treat their livestock. We acknowledge your species as a sentient one and try to deal fairly with you.
Now, After careful analysis, I finally uncovered Kyubei's character traits. I'm going to reveal the reason he lied and cheated those girls. Ready? He's fucking stupid. Bro, he doesn't even tell them the rules. He takes advantage of vulnerable teenagers, too young to understand the danger of signing their lives away. It's not like their parents sit them down and say, "Hey kids, if a magical cat apparition appears on your windowsill and offers you a wish, make sure to read the terms and conditions." All that shit about harvesting emotions and turning into witches and removing your soul from your body? Yeah, apparently he didn't find that important enough to mention. Ah well, I'm sure this revelation won't have any impact on any of the characters at all. What? No, stop, no! One of the most tragic character arcs is that of Sayaka Miki, a girl caught in the throes of hopelessness and loss. Her conversion from magical girl to witch is especially fascinating to me. After fighting Kyoko, she discovers that her soul and body aren't attached. This sends her spiraling, contemplating her humanity. Then Hitomi, her best friend, confronts her about their shared crush, the violin guy. Sayaka loses her mind. Sayaka's transformation is a key example of Kyubei's ultimate balance rule. As she performs more and more good, she must cause equal pain to the world. All her hatred is released in a burst, her soul consumed by darkness. I still love Sayaka though. She's second only to Mami. I really hope they can save her. God damn it. Sayaka's death is a perfect representation of the horrific lives that Puella Magi lead. I can only imagine the countless girls before her who didn't even have the chance to be understood, killed in cold blood by the next generation of heroes. All they ever wanted was to bring good to the world, and for that, they reaped the whirlwind. If you had one friend in the entire world, one person who cared about you, what would you sacrifice to keep them safe? For Homura Akemi, the answer was her freedom, her happiness, and 12 years of her life. Homura is the definition of determination. Every time she wakes up in that hospital bed, her eyes fill with more and more ferocity. She will stop at nothing to save her best friend. The first time she meets Madoka, she's little more than an outcast. Her academic, social, and physical performances are all below average. Madoka is the first person to care about her, and by the time the anime starts, she can't even reciprocate that love anymore. Just a side note, at the beginning of the anime, Homura is often drawn from lower angles. She's presented to the viewer as a tall, imposing figure, a statue of neutrality. Madoka and the viewer see her as this visage of what not to be, cold, uncaring, and dedicated to whatever agenda she has. As she slowly softens to Madoka, fading back to her old self, the cameras rise to the same level. She's no longer disconnected from the others. She's an equal. I love the subtlety of this change, and it helps bring everything together as the story progresses. Anyway, what I'm getting at in this part is the existential dread of going back in time over and over and over again, trying to save your only friend, only to watch her die in your arms every single time. One of the most heart-wrenching scenes in the entire show is when Madoka and Homura lie on the ground after Walpurgis is knocked, dying in each other's arms.
But there's a lot of things worth protecting too. Madoka! Finally, you called me by my first name. I'm so happy.
That shit traumatized me. And the worst part is, Homura knows the moment she gives up, she will transform into a witch herself, and all will be lost. So she keeps getting up repeatedly, trying to find the one right path through an endless maze, until finally, she can't fight anymore. She lies in the wreckage of her life, her dreams, and the battle she waged for so long. All she accomplished was delaying the inevitable. Madoka's wish leaves the story on a good but sad note. The universe's very rules have been rewritten. She's forgotten by everyone in the world, even Kyubey. Instead of Puella Magi turning into witches, they simply fade into oblivion. It sets the story into the perfect status quo and gives enough space for a sequel movie. Madoka Magica was one of the first anime I've ever watched, and it sets a high bar for every other piece of media afterwards. No other show has made me lie in bed thinking, for as long as this one has. All these moments together make me confident that Madoka Magica is one of the best shows I've ever watched. And I hope I've imparted some of that to you, the viewer. Thanks for watching.